So hello everyone, welcome back to our another video of JavaScript series. Here I will explain the variables in JavaScript, that is var, let and const. If you are learning JavaScript and still get confused between var, let and const, then today's video is for you. So make sure you watch till the end. For the beginners, I will explain what is variables. So imagine variables like a container like this. So here in the container I will store the roll number of some student like this. If it is 25, then 25 like this. Then I will give the name to this container, that is roll number, Sam's roll number. I have labeled it Sam's roll number. Now this label is referencing this container and this value. Whenever you call this Sam's roll number, it will simply give you the 25 value, that is the roll number. This is the basic concept of variable in the programming languages. Okay, let's start with a simple fact. JavaScript gives us three ways to declare the variables, that is var, let and const. So these are the three ways to declare variable in the JavaScript. But the big question is, which one should you use and when? Let me break it down in the easiest way possible. So to understand this, we will move to the VS Code. I will code you and explain it clearly. In the VS Code, I simply create one file, that is variable.js. And in this file, I will show you how to declare variable in the JavaScript. So first, we will see the var. So this is how variables were declared in the old JavaScript. It still works, but it has two big problems. So in this way, we can write var in the first, then we can write the variable name, and then we can use the equals to sign to assign the value, and then we can declare the value here, and then we can write the semicolon. So we have declared our variable, and this is how variables were declared in the old JavaScript. It still works, but it has two big problems. And the problem one is that it is a function scope, not a block scope. So if you declare a var inside an if or a loop, it escapes the block. It doesn't respect boundaries. I will show you how it escapes the boundaries. If I declare if and then write here the true, then in the var a equals to 10, if I will go here and do the console.log if a, and if I will try to run it, see this, it is printing 10. That means it is accessing the variable that is inside the if block, and in the normal programming language it is not possible. So this is the problem that happens with the var, and it causes the bugs. See, it leaks out. That's why modern JS developers avoid using var. And one another problem is with the hoisting. JavaScript moves var declaration to the top internally, which leads to the weird behavior. If we use console.log a, and if we define after this, if I use 30, and if I save and run it, you'll able to see the result. See, it is showing undefined. That means the a is initialized by the because JavaScript hosts the variables which are declared with the var. So that is the problem, because I can access the variable that is declared on the third line, but I can access it from the two line because it is not throwing the error, it is just showing undefined, and this can cause many bugs in your applications. There is another method using which we can solve this problem, and that is the let keyword. So we can declare the variable using let. So first we have to write like the let, then we have to write the keyword name, that is if I use roll number, then equals to, then if 40, if I do the console.log, and if I save and run it, you can see it is showing the 40. And let is the keyword that most developers use today, and it is also a block scope. If I show you, if I go to the if and I will write it true, and if I declare x equals to 5, and I will go to the outside of the block, and if I console.log it, and if I save and try to run it, you can see that it is throwing the error, and that is what we want. That's why it is much cleaner and safer to use. It is hosted but not initialized. If you try to access it before declaration, if I declare it like this, and if I save and run, you can see it is throwing error again. This makes bugs easier to catch. And there is another way to declare the variable, that is this const. So if we have to declare some values which will never change in our application, we declare the value like pi, that is 3.14, and if I console.log, see, you can see the variable declaration using const. If someone changed value of it accidentally, if I do this, and if I save and if I run it, See, it is throwing error. That means we are trying to reassign the const variable, and that is not possible in JavaScript. But here is an important fact. Many beginners misunderstand. Const does not make objects and arrays constant. Only the reference is constant. That means you can't assign the another reference to this variable, but the arrays or the objects that you have stored are not constant. If I use const array equal 1, 2, 3, and if I console.log array, if I save, if I run it, see, you can see 1 to 3. This is a const variable declared using const. Here we can change this array, but we cannot change reference value of this array variable. If I try to do the operations like push operation, if I try to insert one, if I run, you can see that we have added one variable here. The const variable not making this array constant, but it is only making this array constant. If I try to do like this, if I try to redeclare 3, 4, 5, I have made another array, try to run it. You can see it is throwing error. That means we are trying to change the reference. So which one should you use? The most important part. Here is a simple rule followed by almost every modern JavaScript developer. Use const by default. If you need to reassign the variable value, then simply use let. And try to avoid using where unless you are maintaining the old code. This keeps your code clean, predictable, and bug free. So that's the difference between where, let, const in the most simple way possible. And if you want to give the feedback, drop a comment and like the video and subscribe to my channel, because making this type of videos takes a lot of effort and time. So make sure to subscribe the channel, and I will see you in the next video.
Whenever your heart is broken,